Now, I want to make a small philosophical point here to underpin those three policies. I've just had lunch with a friend of mine, Toby Jenkins, 16-year-old, who came up with a fantastic expression to describe the underlying philosophy for the RedBlue Party, for the three policies that I have just described. And I think you can sum it up in the words of reversing the concept of what we might call life is cheap. If our politicians, and indeed if we as a population don't value our lives, if our politicians don't value the population, which has been the underpinning of the entire political history of mankind, really. First of all, we had autocratic and despotic rule, where clearly those kings and queens and dictators didn't value the political input of their subjects, and that was taken over by a form of democracy, if you like, where through some sort of suffrage or another, increasing percentages of the population were given the vote, but they had to do it sort of every 5 years, and in between time really the jurisdiction of our governments that we gave them was ridiculous, and they were taking on and have taken on powers way beyond their remit. I don't think we've ever, as a country, voted for a draconian implementation of political correctness, but that's what we've got. So we understand very clearly that our politicians do not value our political input, and it's not surprising in that way that we then switch off the political process and, in fact, in many ways switch off life itself and spend our lives, if we're not shopping in Crawley, then we're sitting in front of dumb TV. But just think of the revolution if, one, we were all educated through school vouchers, two, we understood very well the contribution that we could make to policing public expenditure in the same way that we've been policing MPs' expenditure recently, and thirdly, if we had a direct input into the political process through initially non-binding opinion polls. And then as we demonstrated our ability to make ourselves informed in this knowledge century, the definition of which, by the way, is that for the first time the entire population can be educated because everything and all knowledge is online. Just think, as we demonstrate our emotional intelligence in the way that we reflect our opinion in online opinion polls, then we can move perhaps from non-binding situations on a monthly or biannual basis, whatever it turns out to be, into more binding, more regular democratic processes where we express opinions as to what we want and what we don't want. So I think with those three policies, school vouchers, publish all expenditure online, and allow monthly non-binding opinion polls, we have three small steps to a massive revolution in politics in this country, which enables us to be both passionate but also eminently practical. With that, I hope you enjoy the rest of the RedBlue site, which you can see in the navigation there, and perhaps if we get a hung parliament in our May election 2010, you'll be looking for these issues to be teased out by the parties as they try to wrestle for our vote in the next election of October 2010. Who knows, if we have tens of thousands of people on the RedBlue Party site, we might even generate a party in our own right. But for it to be a party, it's got to be more than just one person. So you've got to become a friend of the party and show that you support this cause. Thank you.